negative way. When there's so much in it, that's the tendency. I even gloss over it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like when Bertie was here. Listen, nobody listens like I listen. I'm just saying, like Paul said he was the chief of all sinners. I'm the chief of when I listen to somebody preach, I'm like dissecting that thing in like 30,000 different ways, right? I'm weighing it all in the balance. And when Bertie was here, it's like when he preached those time and those messages, I heard everything he said, and I was considering all of it. But when I went back and listened the second time, there's so much there. And so I just encourage everybody, put this in like your Rolodex or whatever, and as you keep studying the scriptures or hanging out with God, keep going back and listening to that, because I tied in so many things about knowing God's love, being intimate with God's love. I tied in what it means for your members to be taken captive by sin. Like that whole thing that you read in the Bible is all explained in that message. Adam's members were taken captive by sin. How did sin take his members captive? It brought forth death in his body. That death told him he needed life and that he didn't have anybody to give it to him. And that caused him to enlist his members. That's how sin takes your members captive. It comes and persuades you that you lack what you need for life in God-likeness. And that's how it takes your members captive. Because if you think you lack something that you need, you're going to try to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how it takes your members captive. When it talks about not presenting your members to sin, that's how you would present your members to sin. The way you would present your members to sin is by considering yourself alive to death. It would by you saying, the world is the father of my life.
Right.
My life is subject to corruption, tribulation. That's presenting your members to sin. You know how to present your members to righteousness? Consider yourself alive to God in his eternal life.
Boom.
So consider yourself braided together with the kind of life that conquers death even.
Yeah.
That's so straightforward.
That will take your members captive and bring forth life.
Yeah.
It will take your members captive to love and joy and peace. Kind of like what I described about if a person's gossiping about me. Do you see how because I was braided together with life, I considered myself alive to God in his eternal life? My members were taken captive to righteousness. So instead of being angry that they were gossiping, I felt compassion and love. You see? That's how your members are taken captive. Right? We enlisted our dying flesh. We saw our flesh was dying. We see we need life in our flesh because that's where we see death. Well, then we enlisted our dying flesh to try to bring forth life. That don't make no sense.
No, it don't.
But that's what we did. Well, what do you think's going to come forth when you try to work death?
Death.
More death.
More than
Right?
Yeah.
And so what does God say? I will come and do a work that they will by no means believe.
There you go.
Right? He come and conquered the grave.
Sure.
What?
Right.
What? Like even the Jewish guys, man, they had the scriptures their whole lives. They didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Even today, 90% of the church doesn't even believe Jesus was raised in a physical body. They don't even believe Jesus still has a body.
Right.
They think we're trying to become spirits so we can go to heaven. We're busy trying to get rid of these bodies. Instead of loving our body and saying God loved this body so much, he decided that's the place he wants to dwell.
Boom.
You're the temple of God. What do you think that tells you about what God thinks about your body? He thinks your body is gorgeous. He thinks your body is beautiful and lovely. He won't let it go. He's not just going to let it go. He's going to redeem that thing from corruption and make it incorruptible.
Amen.
Because it's beautiful. Your body is beautiful. Don't let the world try and come and tell you something negative about your body. Don't let the world come and point at your body through the eyes of corruption and convince you that your body is evil or bad.